Hey, my name is Caleb Newcomb, and I'm going to tell you about my summer internship experience for the next 5 to 8 minutes. I'm going to try to keep it quick and stick to the time limit, but thanks everybody for watching. So, this summer I was working with Ernst & Young in Richmond, Virginia. As most of you all know, it is a Big Four accounting firm. They have about 210,000 employees globally, and there were 17,000 interns across the entire world, which is quite a bit of interns. They are seeing some explosive growth in the industry. Last year, they grew the most of any of the top four firms, and most of this growth is coming from their advisory practice. And this all hinges off of their Vision 2020, which is a vision by the year 2020 to have $50 billion in revenue. Last year, they were at 30 billion. So a little short of where they would like to be revenue wise, but also the second part of that goal is to be the number one or number two service provider in any service that they provide. So if it's TAS, advisory, tax, they want to be the number one or number two. So best at what they're doing. Really quickly, an overview. How I found the position. As many of you know, Beta Alpha Psi every fall hosts the annual meet and greet with all of the firms. Many of the firms come and you sort of find out about the internship and job opportunities that way. However, I actually landed the position just based off of a contact that I had made with the Richmond recruiter on my own outside of Elon, because most of the folks that are recruiting at Elon are from the Carolinas market offices. Orientation, the way it works is they split you out by service line. So I was with all of the assurance folks because I was just doing normal, regular core assurance. So I went to DC for a week of training, and then after that started and was supposed to be out at a client site my first day, but that didn't happen. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But anyway, the format of the internship, it was 8 weeks long, and like I said, began with training, and then it ended with what they called the IILC, which is the International Intern Leadership Conference. This was a massive event down in Orlando, Florida, held at Walt Disney World in the resort area there, and it was 4,000 interns from across the world that came with various professionals in the firm as well. And it was just sort of a really great week to celebrate your internship experience, learn more about the firm, and get to network with your peers who we could potentially be working with for the next few years. So my top two learning objectives throughout going into the internship were to improve my communication and to successfully network and establish relationships with professionals. And how I achieved these goals was I mainly reached out to my supervisors and went to them and asked, how did they like to be communicated to? If I have a question on an assignment, would they like me to write a whole list and then go see them? After 30 minutes of trying to get through that list, or if something came up, just walk right over and ask, that sort of thing. Also, sort of status throughout my tasks that I was doing. So what a lot of my supervisors like for the staff to do is sort of keep an open items spreadsheet in Excel, and so you know what you have working on and what documentation you need for which work paper, so you sort of have it all in a nice little spreadsheet and what you're working on, so they can quickly, if they ask where you are on the cash workbook, you can quickly reference that and let them know. Also, in order to successfully network and establish relationships, what I really tried to do was go to all of the extracurricular things that the firm had throughout the summer. There was a minor league baseball game. We did an event at Dave & Buster's, which is like a grown-up arcade. So doing all of those things as well really helps to allow you to get to know your supervisors outside the office. So that was great as well. So like I said before, I was initially supposed to be out at a client the first day, but that client actually filed for bankruptcy the day before I was supposed to go out there, so it was pretty interesting. It was a hot biotech startup, but they ran into some issues. Aside from that, I had the chance to work on 4 engagement teams. One was a large tobacco manufacturer, then a smaller furniture manufacturer. Then I worked on a big commercial water filtration supplier company, and then also a hardwood flooring supplier and manufacturer retailer. So not too much goes on in the summer, as you know, if your office has a lot of 1231 year ends, which ours does. So basically the only thing that summer interns get to help out on is rolling forward work papers, doing walkthroughs, maybe some planning. I actually got to help out on a couple quarterly reviews for 2 of my clients, so that was pretty neat right there to get to do some actual substantive audit work. Yeah, so going off of that, responsibilities, mainly I assisted with the quarterly review of financial statements. The main things I did were revenue testing, payroll testing, and I did some cost conversion schedules. Also, a huge part of working in the summer, just rolling forward the prior year work papers and then getting all that documentation straight for the new fiscal year. So, sort of wrapping up, what did I learn about myself? I learned that I definitely like to keep busy, so I definitely like to have a huge list of tasks to sort of hack away at, even though you might feel overwhelmed at first. What's I learned about the industry as a whole? Definitely is a move up or move out industry. You know, it is definitely very performance based and driven. It's a deadline driven industry and it's client service. So, you know, given those things, you can see why there is a sometimes sort of a harsh stigma around public accounting. You know, there are long hours in busy season and that sort of thing. Next steps and how this influenced my future plans. I do believe I'm definitely going to continue to pursue a career in public accounting. I liked my summer internship experience. It was great, and I made long-lasting relationships throughout the internship, like I said. So now, if I go back to EY in Richmond next fall to start full time, it'll be like I already have sort of a network and pool of friends to work with, both amongst my peer group and amongst my supervisors and superiors. And then also I have a better understanding now of different types of clients and industries. So when I have to pick which clients I want to be on full time, I can know, you know, if I want to do biotech or if I want to do a manufacturing, if I want smaller private companies, or if I want some of the larger publics that the office had. And that is it. Thank you very much for watching.